Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Archie's Briefings. I'm your host, Arshel Branch, and today, you guys, we are going to talk about the ghetto class. If you are anything like me, growing up, you were told that you're trying to be the Oreo, that you're acting white, that you're an Uncle Tom. Obviously, as you grow into your conservatism and you're an adult, it gets way, way worse. And I just couldn't understand why somehow wanting to speak proper English as properly as one can, that by carrying yourself like a lady, and that prioritizing morality over the riches and the validation from the Black community, somehow that means you're not your race anymore. Now, I am a hybrid child. I'm a Black Hispanic. I grew up mostly with my Black family, went to predominantly Black schools, lived in predominantly Black neighborhoods, and I don't speak a word of Spanish. Well, maybe hola. That's about it, really. But beyond that, it's what is this difference between the Black conservative versus the Black liberal, the Black left? And you just don't really understand it. And so I started to do the research into that. I wanted to see what other people had to say about it. And I was very happy to find that there were Black Americans on YouTube that were actually doing the research. And as someone who is in the financial professional, I started to realize that if you behave at the bottom of behavioral standards, don't be surprised if you are at the bottom. And it seems to me that Black Americans on the ghetto side of things, the ghetto class of Black America, they seem to prioritize those things. So in today's episode, you guys, we are going to look at the differences between the ghetto class and the Black conservative mindset, what I refer to as the Freeman mindset, just so we can understand that you're not crazy if you're Black conservative and you are referred to as Uncle Tom, if you are referred to as the Oreo trying to act white. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not crazy. We're not crazy. There is a difference. And we are going to talk about that today. But before we go ahead and do that, I want you to take the time to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video, share this video. I do think I'm going to piss some people off with this one. I don't really care because I just feel like it needs to be said. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and let's talk about it, shall we?
There is something that has been on my heart that I did want to discuss. Discipline is a huge part of being productive, being lucrative. I'm not for anything that goes against true productivity, true sovereignty of the individual. The choices that we make are what's going to be up for judgment.
Okay, you guys, so as I said in the open, we are going to look at the differences between the ghetto class mindset and the freeman civilized mindset, if you will, because there is a big difference in the Black Americans between the conservatives and the people on the left. There is a great divide within the Black community, and I was curious to see why that is the case. I'm a little sick and tired of it being chalked up to Black Americans wanting to be, trying to be white, acting white. It's because we don't respect our own people. And it just, there has to be more to it than that. There has to be more to this conversation than we just don't want to be Black people if we don't choose to engage in the bottom of behavioral standards. And every single time I watch somebody like Anton Daniels on these panels, I wonder, one, how does he do it? Because I don't even understand how he does it. I've been done trying to bring Blacks on the ride with me. If you are in the ghetto class, I'm done debating you. I'm done trying to convince you why these behaviors are just not in the best interest of the community, of your families, of yourself. But I'm going to play a video for you guys with Anton Daniels on a panel, because I do find it fascinating that there you have a gentleman like Anton trying to conversate with women. There's some men on the panel, but it's really the back and forth with the women that I think is most relevant here to this conversation, because I don't understand why we just haven't gotten to the conclusion here that you cannot behave this way and think that people have to accept this and think that societal norms have to change or shift to appreciate these ideas, that you can choose to run around here like animals and think that we have to accept that as civilized people. Like, if you're going to behave like you don't care about what society thinks about you, want to dress like a thought, you want to dress like a criminal, you want to have this ratchet tone in your voice, you want to act out all types of behaviors, well, then that's your business. But the rest of society doesn't actually have to accept that, okay? It's ridiculous. So before I go any further, let's go ahead and let's run that clip of Anton on this panel, because I do think it's necessary to discuss. So let's go ahead and let's play that clip, shall we?
Why do you think that all these niggas get pussy because you get pussy? These niggas really be out here tricking and sipping. These niggas out here sipping as fuck. Let me tell you. I know y'all think y'all know y'all friends, y'all guy friends and shit, but let me tell y'all don't know them niggas. Okay?
They be laying up, paying bills, and kissing on the neck.
Okay, them niggas be singing sweet nothings, be sending the weekly allowance without ever even smelling the coochie. Okay,
absolutely.
It's a few back page
out here
niggas
paying
in
for
here.
Pete.
Listen. I am up here with a group of godless people. Me personally,
I love God. What's wrong with you?
Me personally,
okay,
I don't know who you talk about.
I'm saved.
Let me pause it right there. I'm on a stage with godless people. You see what I'm saying? First of all, the language. Okay, these women up here. Let me just say this first of all. These women are very fortunate that the internet exists, okay? Because if they were working at a 9-to-5 job, they would have been fired in the same week that they were hired, okay? There is just no way that you can have language like that and think you're going to keep your job, okay? Every other word is a cuss word, okay? The men in the audience are N-words, okay? The P word, the F word, the S word, every other word that these women are dropping is profanity. It's just a bunch of vulgarities. And you don't see a problem with that. Yes, Anton, you are on a stage with a bunch of godless people because it just doesn't make any sense. The Lord doesn't want us cursing. Yes, you have free speech and all that, but free speech doesn't exactly exist. Okay, liberty does not exist, so that way we can all engage in vulgarities and debauchery. Okay, yes, you have the choice to do that, but it's about wanting to choose refinement, discipline. Okay, were there no other words that you could have used to say why the men in the audience don't know their friends, as opposed to y'all know these N-words? Come on. And then the ratchet, y'all know how I feel about the ratchet. Oh my goodness, it's in the voice, you can hear it. It's annoying as all heck. Anton is absolutely right. Let's go ahead and let him finish, shall we?
What is you really trying to say right now?
Y'all are ratchet.
Honestly, like I said, I don't think that these women really have any standards whatsoever. It depends on where they at in their life.
Okay.
Yep.
During the recession, they would have took anything. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, yeah, we up now, baby. We getting money.
That's not true. In the recession, I was really getting money.
These bitches should never gave me no money.
During the recession, my business was up.
Yeah, don't let them lie to y'all.
Don't let him lie to you. Okay, he wouldn't even have the bitch he had if he didn't have no money. Let's be clear. If he was broke right now, you would be single.
Hey.
You would not be married. You wouldn't have.
This woman right here, she annoys me. Okay, I just swear to goodness, this woman, straight demonic possession right here. That's her face, ratchet and all.
Nobody.
No,
you listen. At the end of the day, we gotta stop trying to make it seem like. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
It's the guys that don't have nothing. They get all in the box. The thing about it is that
do you believe that?
No, now that I'm up, y'all don't qualify. That don't matter no more.
Who don't qualify?
It's the guy.
Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all over. Y'all heard the damn song.
Trust me.
Who are these people that you're saying?
No. Seriously, like when I was down. Mm-hmm. Y'all would have been the main course. Now y'all could just be sides.
You said that yesterday.
Did you just call me?
Real talk.
It's still not a good analogy.
It's the same thing.
You can't say that.
Correct.
Why can't he?
Because it's just not. That don't make any sense. Like, you don't know who you could have. You never even pursued half these women that you even pictured in your fucking dreams. You wouldn't dare do it because you know you're not going to succeed.
Succeed. You know you're not going to succeed. You mean succeed? Succeed? The ratchet. They can't even speak proper English. That can go on for mad long if I wanted to. Okay, the woman on that far end, we're over there, the ratchet, you could hear it. Both of them, the host, the woman on the end, ratchet. Okay, the woman that was wearing the jean jacket and she was wearing the black, I think that was like a onesie that she was wearing, and she had the shortcut. She doesn't have the ratchet in her voice, which, she might have been trying to dumb herself down because of the environment, which I think is a problem that Black Americans do have. To be, accepted into the community, we will dumb ourselves down just so we can be accepted. And that's not something that we should be trying to do. And so that does play a role in the differences between the Black conservative and the Black liberal. And it's the same thing. It's no different than when you're an adult, how it is when you're a kid. The peer pressure, if you want to be accepted, you're willing to do and say whatever you need to do and say to be accepted by your peers. And for Black people on the left, they assume that we want to be like them. And sorry, but you're not going to convince me that Beyonce is someone that I should be looking up to. You're just never going to get me to think that Sexy Red is someone that I should be listening to. I don't like Tupac. Okay, stop trying to tell me this man is a poet. He was a man raised by socialists who became a socialist. He was a criminal who engaged in criminality and died like a criminal. He lived by the gun, died by the gun. I don't care. Be offended if you want, but you're just not going to convince me that these are good ideas. Now, there is a gentleman on YouTube who actually did the research, and that takes us into what we were talking about today in the open. How I said there is a difference between the ghetto class and the free man class, right? There's a difference in these ideas and the ideals of the people who choose morality over the validation because of money, right? There's a huge difference between those two types of Black people. And so the gentleman that I'm going to show you guys today, his name is Brooklyn St. Michael or Brooklyn St. Michael. I think he has an incredible channel. Sometimes I disagree with some of his things, but in this particular video, he reviews the book, The Black Bourgeoisie by E. Franklin Frazier. And I do recommend everybody go and read this book because after I saw this video, I went to go read the book. So I'm going to play that video for you guys because that plays a huge role into what it is that we're talking about. Because in this book, The Black Bourgeoisie, Frazier goes into how Black Americans end up adhering to the bottom of behavioral standards. And then somehow we're all surprised of the outcome.
Coincidence? I think not.
So at the end of the day, I think as conservatives, as Black conservatives specifically, we don't need to feel guilty about not wanting to be like them, not wanting to act like them, not finding the same things that they are interested in the same. Okay. We don't have to like them. We really don't. We don't have to like Tupac. We don't have to like Beyonce. Okay. Call me racist for thinking the woman is trash. I don't care. At this point, I'm done defending myself because apparently the issue of the two types of Blacks stems way before I was even born. Okay. This goes way back to when the boomers were being born. So this is not something that I have to feel bad about or guilty about. So let's go ahead and let's run that clip from Brooklyn Saints YouTube channel, shall we?
The system of rigid racial segregation has broken down. The Black bourgeoisie has lost much of its feeling of racial solidarity with the Negro masses. In the metropolitan areas of the North, where there are increasing opportunities for employment and earning money, social mobility, which means primarily the attainment of middle-class status, has become a question of the amount of money which one has to spend, right? Not how thrifty or how much money a person could save, but how much money a person could spend. This was the mindset of this new Black bourgeoisie, right? The ones who came with that slave mindset. Let's continue.
Okay, so before I let him go on, let's just look at what was being said in that first bit, right? That the value of Black Americans at that point, the new bourgeoisie, the ones that had the mindset of the slaves, these were people who found value in how much money they spend. And the only real way to be able to evaluate how much money a person is spending is when you look at the items in which they bought, right? So they spend money on cars and clothes and hairstyles and jewelry, things that they may not be able to afford, but they go out there and they get it anyway because they want to look like they have money, because it is the money that gives them the value. And so it is with the ghetto class, okay, what Dr. Frazier refers to as the Negro class, with the slave mindset, that money is what gets your value. It is money that determines your value to the ghetto class, not who you are as a person, not how hardworking you are, not how respectable you are, not how intelligent you are. It's why the ghetto class do not like Ben Carson. It's why the ghetto class doesn't like Candace Owens. It's why I'm constantly referred to as a race traitor or an Uncle Tom, which again goes to what Dr. Frazier was talking about the lack of intelligence, which is why you guys got to read that book, because they lack a certain level of intelligence, which if you had it, you would know Uncle Tom was the hero. If you really wanted to insult me, you would have called me Sambo. Let's go ahead and let the rest of that rock, shall we?
The break with traditional values is seen in the changes in the canons of respectability. Among the older upper class families in the Negro community who really stood for a middle class way of life, the canons of respectability required a stable family and conventional sex behavior. So
okay. So I'm going to leave it there, you guys, because to be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description, because I do think you guys should go and watch that video, because he breaks down a lot of that book and how it hurts. Well, not so much the book, how the book hurts Black Americans, but kind of describes how the slave mindset hurts Black people today, because they choose to engage in the ghetto class mindset, the Negro class mindset. Okay. we choose to put most of our focus, most of our time and money into materialistic things. In the ghetto class, materialism, it's what gets you your value, not your morality, not your conventional behaviors. Which, did you see any of those types of attitudes coming from those women on that stage? The language, their behaviors. Oh, I need to check the roster. I can't be the only bad bee. You don't know these N words and that you call your friends. The P word, the F word. There's not a level of respectability or kind of conventional values, traditional values that was with those women on that stage. And I can't even say the same thing. I can't say that that was any different with the men that were on the stage, with the exception of Anton Daniels. He said it himself, right? I'm on a stage with godless people, okay? Believing in God, having traditional family values. These are things that were a part of the free man mindset, okay? So if you are a Black conservative, just know you have the free man mindset. We don't conform and restrain from inappropriate behaviors and vulgarities because we're trying to be white. No, we engage this way in society because it shows that we're ladies and gentlemen. And to behave any other way, the alternative lifestyle that Anton referred to it as, would suggest that only are you part of the Negro class, you're ghetto, and you are without God. Okay? That's just the reality there. And so I don't have to feel bad about it anymore. Black conservatives, you don't have to feel bad about it anymore. We no longer got to sit here and try to rationalize why us wanting to be better than what we've seen in the movies, than what we've seen from the Hollywood people, the athletes. We can want more for ourselves. We can want more for our communities. And if you're a Black person and part of the ghetto class, I've tried to bring you along for the ride. If you're watching this and you're offended, that's your business. Okay. I don't feel no kind of way not defending that behavior anymore. I'm not trying to be you anymore. I did that when I was a kid. Okay. I tried to get along. I tried to be that way, but I had parents that taught me the difference between right and wrong. I've had God in my life since I was a child. You're just not going to convince me that acting like a criminal and acting like a thought are good ideas. They're not. Okay. They're not. Those women were being hella egregious, unbelievably disrespectful, and I don't even think they know that they're doing it. And I do believe part of that is the ratchet tone. They don't even know that they're doing it.
You're a bitch.
So you want to be out here and you want to act that kind of way, that's your business, okay? I'm not gonna feel bad about it anymore. No Black conservative should feel bad about wanting to be informed, speaking as properly as one can. It doesn't mean that we don't get colloquial. It doesn't mean that we don't use modern slang, right? Hella, fire. I do use those languages. It doesn't mean that we don't ever use profanity and vulgarities, because sometimes I do. Never the P word. I don't like that word. Y'all know me. I don't like that word. Okay. I just don't like it. People make fun of me because I don't like that word. I say P word. Okay. Even when we're talking about the original James Bond movie, the bad guy's name is P word galore. I do not say the word. Okay. There's just a way you carry yourself in public, and the internet space, I do believe, is public, but these women don't seem to care about that. Hey, thank God for the internet for those women, because I don't think they'd be able to hold down a job if they had language like that. They might have actually been forced to speak proper English and to not use vulgarities. But you let me know what you think, because to be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm done trying to justify it if this has clearly been a conversation that predates my birth, and I'm 30 this year. So yeah, this goes all the way back to the 50s, and even before then, if you read that gentleman's book, okay? E. Franklin Frazier, read that book, The Black Bourgeoisie, because I think he breaks it down perfectly. In that video I showed you, the Brooklyn St. Michael video, he breaks down so much more how we got here, how the people in Hollywood, the Blacks in Hollywood, have so much influence over us as a community, as Black Americans in the ghetto class in the community specifically, are affected by their influences. They will go out there and put themselves into financial ruin because Jay-Z said so, because Sexy Red said so, because Beyonce say so, okay? Because these rich Black folk who came from the bottom, now we hear, are influencing other Blacks to engage in behaviors that are detrimental to their finances, to their lives, to their freedom. And as Black conservatives, we don't have to feel bad about it anyway. I like listening to Thomas Sowell. I like listening to Candace Owens. I like listening to Ben Carson. I like listening to Larry Elder. I like being as proper as I properly can. I love Jesus. I love my family. I respect my mother. I try not to curse so much on the YouTube space or in public. Okay. I carry myself with a level of decorum, because that's what it means to be a lady. That's what it is to be civilized. That's what it is to behave like a human being. Okay. Not animals. And I won't be out here acting like that. So like it, don't like it, I don't care. That's for them. I'm not going to feel bad. And I don't think you guys should feel bad if you're a Black conservative either. So go ahead and get in the comment section to let me know what you think. Do you think that there is a difference between the ghetto class and the civilized black folk, because I think there is. And if you do think, go ahead and get in the comments and let me know. If you're someone who's offended by this because you're a part of the ghetto class, tell me why you think I'm wrong. Would love to have that conversation. If you're offended, I'm not sorry. It's just facts. Read the book if you can. Just because lack of intelligence is a part of the problem. Bottom of behavioral standards. You behave at the bottom. Don't be surprised that your finances and your lifestyle match that. Okay. Just not going to be apologetic about that. These are just facts. And my opinion is based off of that. So go ahead and get in the comments. Thank you all for watching. God bless Kepler.